I first joined the New Zealand Four-Wheel Drive Association back in 1985 through the Manukau Four-Wheel Drive Club. The club was very active in those days, groups of similar aged folk and a great social circle. Back in 1988, the Four-Wheel Drive Association organised a jamboree to be hosted by the Otago Land-Rover Owners Club, based in Bannockburn near Cromwell. The jamboree was well attended by a vast number from all over the country, including my wife and I in our 8-year-old Series 3 Longwheel-based Land Rover. The New Zealand Four-Wheel Drive have a monthly newsletter sent out to all the members, and back in January 2023, notice was served of the AGM to be held in Methven. But the AGM included 5 days, 5 days of off-road trips for the week leading up to the AGM on the Sunday, hitting the major braided rivers in the Methven area. My calendar was a bit tight at this stage, as I had the Series 1 Land Rover trip in March, 2 weeks later leaving for Wanaka in the Defender for the Land Rover's 75th birthday at Wheels at Wanaka, and now with the Methven run 3 weeks after that, after returning from Wanaka. Due to work and farm commitments, my wife and I decided to go straight there and back, so leaving Auckland Saturday morning and arriving in Methven Sunday night. I also decided to transport my mud tyres down, driving down on road tyres to save the treads and safe on wet roads, and we could also share the driving. I decided to take my Land Rover Discovery down to Methven, as it was better equipped for the Boulder Bash, with fully plumbed raised air breathers for the axles, gearbox and engine, bash plates on the diff, real rock and tree sliders and a strengthened steering rods, and mate was I glad it did. Monday morning in Methven was a tad brisk with a mild fog as we all gathered at the Methven Memorial Hall for the driver's briefing.
Okay, I'm the trip leader, as probably most of you have got the hang of by now. Tarly and Charlie is Ray here, and midsection is Dom, who's kindly stepped in for Pat, who had a wee bit of a whoopsie and couldn't make it. What we have is a recovery coordinator. If somebody's stuck in the river, don't wait for him, try and get him out as you can. The recovery coordinator is the one when it gets really tricky. He's the guy that takes over and he makes the decisions and carries on. We have a mechanic who's Grant. You'll notice Grant, he usually wears bare feet, but he's got shoes on. He said he's dressing up.
On today.
We've got a first aider, Sean there. Today we're going to be heading up the Harper River to Mistake Flat. When we did the recce trip, we didn't actually get there. The river's been flooded a few times and all the fines are gone, so the crossings are all pretty rough and gnarly, but that's what you come here for. The trip grading is grade 3. If it goes to grade 4, we'll be going somewhere else. Today we only have one river crossing, which it should be fine. The river's a little bit higher than I would like it, but we can't do much about it. The rest of it is just going to be rough boulder bashing, I'm afraid to say. Never attempt a substantial river crossing on your own or if another vehicle's in it. A substantial river crossing to me is anything that you think is above the hubs. And remember, what you think it is, it's always deeper.
To reduce the load on the tracks, John split us into 2 groups, Shiny or Newbie and Tough Truck/Experienced. The 2 groups were to head in different directions each day, but after the briefing we all hit the road, with some Shinies lining up behind the Tough Trucks and vice versa, the wrong radio channels, different queues and trip leaders racing up and down the road as we parked outside the local college, causing mayhem for the usual quiet town. But eventually we hit the road south towards Geraldine and the Peel Forest to head up the true right of the Rangitata River.
If everybody sort of looks to their right, over there is where the Harper skating rink is. The chances of getting there are really low. I was talking to a guy last night who went up there jet boating. He says the river's hard against the true left, so probably won't go there. You'll come across a Y intersection, turn right again.
We dropped our tyre pressures down near Mesopotamia Station before making our way out across the ancient riverbed. By this stage the morning fog had cleared, leaving an ice blue sky with paint stroke wisps of mist up the 2,000 metre plus ranges across the valley, like zip lines up a beer glass. With my vehicle slightly raised and a bespoke bar on the front and a short recovery plate at the rear, it provided very good attack and recovery angles. All these factors played a critical part in the coming days for minimal rock contact to sensitive areas. One of the factors to attend the Jamboree was to gain confidence in tackling braided rivers. We have some big rivers in the North Island, but these southern units are on a different scale. I have inner tubes in my muddies which permits much lower tyre pressures without popping the beads. So I turned this to my advantage by dropping my rear tyres to 14 psi and 18 psi on the front, providing a much more comfortable ride with my usually heavy duty suspension.
He's backing up. Look out.
John, look to your right.
Gareth is going.
Is he making a cup of tea in front?
This is the way it gets harder.
Nice pass. Yeah, like you lock it and it bounces sort of.
Yeah.
So it'll have it like a time frame that if you lock it and unlock it, it'll lock itself again after 30 seconds.
We've got an interesting one here. Do you want to come up the front? Yeah, I'll come down. Yeah, we'll just wait till you get here before we cross. We'll have a good look at this one because she's tricky.
Get Gareth up here, he's got the submarine. Yeah, no disrespect, but this isn't helpful.
And here we go.
And here we go. We pulled up alongside a tributary of the Rangitata, which appeared to be running at a good sprint. The surface was smooth, which usually means it's deep, and light blue, meaning it's glacial fed, so you can't actually see the gooey rocks at the bottom of the river. Can we go now? I could see the wide eyes on the drivers' and passengers' faces as they ploughed into the swift water, heading slightly downstream so the current pushes you, to emerge steaming on the other side.
I'm in the middle. Do I just go straight across where I am?
Yep, she's a bit deep. Make sure you don't go too far to the right, and you'll get pushed into that mainstream, and I think that's bloody deep.
Two of Land Rover's many redeeming design features include door seals designed to leak like a sieve, to allow the vehicle to sink, as opposed to bobbing like a cork in deep crossings. Another is the floors are flat and beveled towards the doors, to allow free draining, unlike lesser designed vehicles whose owners were using take-out food trays to bail out the aptly named footwells.
This is when your diff guard comes in handy.
I can just get you to wait here, Dom, till everybody's through.
At the next river crossing, I asked our trip leader if he could give us northerners the 101 of Braided river crossings, to which he just looked at me blankly. I guess it's not that he didn't want to share his knowledge, but probably found it difficult to explain a task for which was second nature to one can be difficult to put into words for the benefit of others. Fording braided rivers make up the bulk of these clubs' four-wheeling, whereas northerners are more acquainted with thick mud driving.
You're supposed to go with the current. I'm trying to fight against it.
When we drove the old telegraph track in Australia a couple of years ago, the guys we were with insisted that we walked every river crossing, despite the risk of crocodiles. I asked our guide if they ever walked the rivers, to which he said it was too dangerous, due to the speed and pressure of the water flow in these larger rivers.
I've got a GT as a car pilot. If you like it, I'm going to kick the car pilot out. And also, if you're rushing like that, you actually...
Funny feeling you'll only do that once.
You actually bite.
If you can just wait behind us, I'm just trying this track. See, hopefully it's not too bad. But, just wait. That one's deep, but if you get the water up your bum, you'll be as good as gold. We'll stop at the turn off to the Black Forest Hut, which is roughly where I am now, and let everybody catch up. That's the last of our big river trips, or big river crossings.
Except Kevin.
Excellent, thanks, Ray.
about 6 k's from the hut where we'll be having lunch.
I'd never noticed it before, but at this point the Rangitata River stops, and the source becomes a combination of the Havelock and the Clyde rivers.
And the pointy peak on the right is possibly Pyramid Peak, at 2,253 metres.
We followed a clear track on a vegetated covered island up the middle of the Havelock for some distance, before again fording the Havelock close to the base of Rocky Ridge to stop at Growler Hut for lunch on the western side of the river.
Said no more water crossings. It's behind the mountain, that's why it's quick.
Oh, maybe. So maybe it was always dim in the best of...
Am I far enough away from that bush to open the door?
I'll just check.
Well, I was leaving that room for the Rubicon and then it took off, so now I have this enormous gap and piled up behind me.
By this stage it was just before 1 PM, so the compulsory turnaround time was 2 PM, so we only ventured out to the next river braid before turning around again, failing to make our target of Mistake Hut, a tantalising short distance ahead.
Nice. You can see where it's been shaved off by all that.
By 2 PM we'd reached about halfway between Growler and Mistake Flat, where we turned around and retraced our route back down the Havelock. We then turned east, crossing the Havelock and the Clyde River in the shadow of Cloudy Peak Range, to head out to the main road via Erewhon Station.
Broken up, don't they? make them smell nice. I didn't actually know they made scent controls anymore.
Oh yeah. Well, that one that Graham Cahill's just bought.
You guys sort of done it on the way up when you come to the rivers.
It's like, you know, in Australia, they made us all walk.
The Havelock and Clyde rivers are several kilometres wide, with many tributaries to cross, as opposed to one big deep river.
That's right in front of me is going to be really lumpy, so what I'm going to do is use the water behind me and go downstream. Start crossing once everybody gets there.
Yeah, he looked like he was actually floating, like, you know, going down the river. And he, you could see he accelerated and managed to get some traction. that peacock green one.
Time to put some air back in the tyres before we hit the road out.
Oh, would the car bound up to four-wheel drive or what was it? Right. Did you take care of it?
Jet planes?
Thank you.
Well, is the grocery store going to be open? Oh, it wasn't Erewhon that we were watching.
No, there's one that was at Erewhon they're trying to...
Or something, and they would only have a one-shot operation, but they solved that, and he's as good as it could be over. When you're up to bus, Josh.
It's the brown pub.
As the shadows closed in, we headed out via the Hakateri Potts Road on the northern side of the Rangitata, which shaved a huge chunk of time off the return journey. Tomorrow, yep, more river crossings. This time we're heading up the Clyde before turning north to follow the Lawrence River up to the Hermitage Hut for lunch. So stay tuned to this channel.